Good morning. My name is Margarita Varela. On behalf of the pastors and the board trustee, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple for our Sunday service. To begin our service, Susie Soberall will light up our 3 lights, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Our pastor will lead us in our invocation.
Good morning.
Morning.
I hope you all had a moment to enjoy the perfection of this morning. Yes?
Yes.
Outside, so happy that you're here. We will have perfection in our hearts going forward. So if you would rise for the invocation, please. If you're able. Infinite intelligence, beloved, spiritual guidance and love in our lives. We welcome you into this experience of attunement, alignment, faith, and devotion with the higher good, the supreme reality, infinite intelligence. We welcome and receive the blessings during this service that we may feel the love, the light, and the fullness of our being together with one another and within ourselves. And with this we say, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for our vocalist, Jamie Osmond.
If you can turn to your hymnal to page 44, Higher Ground. Forty-four. Undressing on the wind, still praying, my feet on fire.
Get me up and let me stand.
My faith on you.
My feet.
My heart is full
To stay.
the priest is made, the sun made
It's all about. It's quiet. And let me stand.
by
My
faith
faith on that.
on
Days. My feet.
I want to
Of the world. Be dark.
take the armor, for faith has come.
Joyful sound. The song of saints on higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand by faith on him. Stay alive on the name that I have been. Lord, like my feet on higher ground.
I want to stand
God must have and catch a gleam of glory bright.
but still
By me up to higher ground.
for
Lord, lift me up and let me stand
by
by
faith
faith on him. Stay alive on higher plane that I have found. Lord, like my feet on higher ground.
You may be seated.
Located in the handout, they are our declaration of principle. Please join me in reciting this principle together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that the correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that the communication with the so-called dead is a fact scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye that you others should do upon you, do ye also unto them. We affirm that the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. At the back of your hymnals or in your handout, there's also our prayer for spiritual healing. Let's recite together, please. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Now, for those of you who will wish to receive a spiritual healing, please take a seat along the wall and go to the next available healer. While the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. Consciously, using our free will in the here, in the now, let's take a gentle, deep breath. So we breathe in and we breathe out. Again, we take another breath. And it is in and out. And again, in and out. Knowing that you are in the right place at the right time, that you are willing and able to open your heart and to experience this loving energy that is always with you and around you. Let's take another breath. Let's allow ourselves to become one with the energy of the healers that are working at the back of the temple. And embracing that sense, knowing that there is always a beautiful light in us. Allow this healing energy to come. Take another deep breath. And let's push. That's our intention. to bring awareness all the way to our feet and choosing to release so we can allow ourselves to move forward, to stand in our power and with our strength to move forward. Releasing, accepting, and embracing our healing today. Let's allow this energy to touch each organ. And let's bring love and a sense of release and forgiveness. And a new commitment to take care of ourselves, to take care of our temple, our physical temple. Breathe in and breathe out and let go. Now moving this energy that flows, that there's part of who you are. Let's bring it into our heart. And let's open our heart to have a sense of gratitude for who we are, where we are, and where we're going in that eternal now. A sense of gratitude for the community that we live in, for our work, for our family. Thank you for every aspect that we are. Let's find the unity in our heart, the acceptance and the gratitude, even those in those areas that we have suffered pain. Those experiences has been our best teacher. The very best has come out. But we don't need to carry it, not in our heart, not over our shoulders, or even in our mind. Today is about that, knowing that I can step in my power and say, I love who I am. I am grateful for everything in this life, from the beautiful trees to the animals to the birds, for the people that they cross my path. Let's bring that sense of gratitude and love for each other, that we are here, willing and open. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us that we have the power to heal. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Grateful for the love that it is in my heart. For the joy, for the oneness, and for the deeper understanding of my purpose in this lifetime. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This energy, this power that we call love is the silver line that unites us in one vibration in this lifetime. Claim yourself. Just be glad that today you have been reminded of your beautiful essence and your ability to heal, to touch, to transform your life and every life that cross your path. Breathe in and know and feel once again the touch of spirit that holds your hands, that is the light above you and beneath you. That is the light, the inspiration, the courage, and the strength in front of you and behind you, freeing you for all that it has been and make and renew a new you. Is the light, the vibration, the energy that holds your right hand as your left hand. And this energy bless your path. And you feel your mind, your body, your heart with that infinite source of wisdom, of healing, and of joy. How beautiful it is to know that we don't have or we don't walk alone. For that higher energy, the infinite intelligence presence of wisdom, of healing, is always with us. Gratitude will change our life. Love is the power to make us whole, complete, and perfect. For this experience and for the many seeds of love that it will be planted in your heart and in your mind today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Continue breathing in and out, embracing what is your right and what is for you. This is today's gift for you to remember that you are one with everything. Let's take another breath, bringing joy, gratitude once again, so our life will never be the same. In our next breath, let's start moving your feet, your hands. Open your eyes. Smile to yourself and for those that are around you. Now you can join me back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. Okay. Hello. Okay. If you have received a healing resulting in a correction or improvement, please complete the yellow card in the back of the temple and give it to the pastor, or you can always mail it in. It's supposed to have a yellow card. What is in the bag? Okay. At this moment, I will, oh, right here. Thank you. At this moment, I would like to thank the healer for embracing all of us with their beautiful energy. Lori Carter, Jackie Arnold, Darlene McCormick, Reverend Suzanne Lewis, Deborah Garber, and Gio Lewis. Thank you. And next hymn, I'm going to bring to you Jamie. Thank you.
If you can rise and turn to page 159, open my eyes that I may see.
Open my eyes, that I may see. It's a truth for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall clasp and set me free. Take now to see. Open my eyes, Spirit. And what the waves follow my fear, everything else we disappear. Silently, to see. Spirit divine, will nothing fail. Children to share. Silently now I wait for thee. Be my God, I wait to see. Open my heart, Spirit.
You may be seated.
Many of you already know Reverend Diane Davis. For me, it's a great honor to be here. And to tell you the truth, she is such a gifted medium and speaker that I know that today she will touch our heart. A teacher that has teaching natural laws for many years. She is an ordained minister, and she was ordained in 1978. In 1975, her first lecture, it was here in Colby Temple. And that's the gift, that Spirit knows where to leave beautiful people, because her work speaks for herself. Please join me together and be aware of her sense of humor, okay, which is wonderful, and her deep understanding of natural laws. Thank you, and let's bring her with a warm applause.
I couldn't hear a word of what she said, but it felt lovely, and knowing Margarita, it probably was. So thank you very much. This morning, I wanted to talk about soap because I went into Publix to buy hand soap. You know, hand soap that you put by your sink, maybe in the bathroom, maybe in the kitchen. Soap. And years ago, you didn't have so many varieties of soap that you had to distinguish between what the scent was that you'd be smelling or what it would be producing with your fingers. Well, one of the things that I have learned in traveling is that quite often when I've gone to rest stops and public restrooms and things, they often have foam soap. We have some here in our community as well. You know, foam soap, where you put your hand under and it goes back. Well, you know, I've gotten to the point where I go like this because half the time I end up wearing the foam. Do any of you do this? Okay. So when I went looking for soap, there was exfoliating, there was hand wash, there was hand soap, there was hand scrub. Now I had confusion because which would I do? And so Kirk's, the brand Kirk's, Kirk''S, they have been developing soap since 1839 as a business. I just thought I would point that out. It sounded very influential to give you a date. Anyway, and but they used to have a bar soap, and you could use it on your hair, you could use it for your laundry, you could do anything with this soap. It was wonderful. Now you need separate soap for your dishes and separate soap for your body. So I have about 5 soaps in the shower. None of you do this? Anyway, so now I'm in Publix and I'm looking at this Kirk's bottle of soap and it's liquid. And I'm thinking, oh my. And ready? It's odor neutralizing hand soap. And it's eucalyptus and lemon scent. But the scents don't stay on very long after you use it. I guess that's when it's gotten rid of the odor in your hands. I don't know. But it says you're going to have soft and healthy hands. I have never known myself to have unhealthy hands. So I got to thinking about soap because I knew this would be really important for all of you this morning. Because happy comes because nothing's perfect. And if you remember anything from today, remember that. Happy comes because nothing is perfect. We are in a strong time of change. We have been in one, not just because of the pandemic, but prior to that, life was altering and shifting, and it still is, and it's still going to. And we get to move through it and experience it and discover it more and more. In the discovery of it, one thing that does occur is frustration. Because I recently went to get a money order at the post office and they only take cash for the price of the money order, but I could pay for the price of the money order itself. Wait, I'm not saying this correctly. I needed to have cash for the amount that the money order would be, but I could pay for the money order with a credit card or debit card. So this is the quandary for somebody who still pays with checks and cash. Moi. And a part of me is a holdout going, I don't want to do this. I don't want to change. I know none of you are like that, right? Okay. So now I'm back to foam soap, you know, foam soap that spits out at you because you're going to get clean hands, and hopefully you do use it at specific times when it is very beneficial. But I also think about all of the things that we have lined up in front of us at stores and places, Amazon, you name it, and we get to choose, or so we think. However, I'm not here to talk about conspiracy theories or any of that, but what I am here to say is our world has changed. It's going to continue to change. Where is your strength and where is your joy? Because one of the things that allows us to get through is having a joyful moment or two. Sometimes experiences aren't very joyful, but yet there is always a little piece of hope in it. I recently was fortunate to teach the law of hope in a natural law workshop I do here once a month. And the thing about hope is there's a little bit of hope in everything. Everything you face, everything you experience, everything you go through, no matter how challenging, no matter how difficult, no matter how discouraging, disappointing, frustrating, angering, it doesn't matter. There's always a little bit of hope. And the hope can be, hang on. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm on it. I did warn you. And the hope can be that there's not going to be the same thing for you to contend with or deal with in time ahead. So I listened recently to a teaching, and in it there was moments of discussion about the Ukraine. And it was talking about the war in Ukraine and how the people, so many people are determined. When was the last time you were totally determined for doing something where you didn't give it up or you didn't let it loose, but you didn't fight for it in a way that you had to embroil yourself with your neighbors or whatever, but you allowed yourself to move toward something because of the strength of character within you. The wonderful phrase that I heard in that discussion and documentary and information, I just had to do that for effect. I wanted to make sure you weren't sleeping, is that the strength is because the Ukraine for years has been invaded by other countries. And the strength is because of the fact that they want their country. That's a pretty wonderful thing. And I'm not here to talk about the Ukraine in depth, but the other part of that quote was their strength comes from their past. Their hope comes from their future. All of you have a future, whether it's 2 seconds, and please, would you go outside before, because it's, we want everybody to be okay, is that your future is filled with opportunities. When you are born, there are a gazillion tendrils connected to the very soul of you. And that soul of you is moved by the very spirit of you. The spirit is the motivator. The soul is the essence of all that you are that will go on forever. And the neat thing is that the strength of you has a lot to do with what you've already experienced in your past, what you don't want to experience again, or who you don't want to. And it's also connected to what you have projected upon yourself all of your life. How can I be successful? What will it look like? Will I be rich enough? Will I be this enough? Will I be that enough? We've got a whole lot of stuff in the background, in the past. But what about there? What about out there? What about the future? What about your hope? So happy comes because nothing is perfect. Have you ever noticed that when you have a goal or you have something that you want to accomplish and do, that sometimes it doesn't turn out quite the way you anticipate, but it probably turns out a whole lot better? And part of the reason is because everything you're doing, every place you're going, every moment of your life, whether it's silent and it's at home and you've got your eyes closed, you're still commingling with life. And that's energy. I'm going to cough here. Excuse me. Okay. So what happens with the energies that you commingle with in life? And what happens when something doesn't seem to go well, go right, is a challenge. Have you ever noticed that you've developed skills, you've developed talents, you developed interests, you developed capabilities, you developed relationships, and 9 times out of 10, it's because you flubbed. Have you ever noticed that? In school, when you were little, I'll go to little because once upon a time we all were there. Remember that? Sort of. Is that all those things you didn't do correctly, but you just did them? You played hopscotch, you stepped on the line or jumped on the wrong place. So what? You learned how to do it better, didn't you? You learned how to do it better because you had a sense of hope to do it better. Or you had something driving you, something motivating you, that very spirit of you that wants to create, and it wants to create joyfully. And that's the soul. So in your life, Happy comes because nothing's perfect. There's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect person. I'm sorry, those of you who work at it harder than I do, but we're still working. We are under construction, but there's no perfect. There's appropriate and there's hopeful, and that's pretty wonderful. In spiritualism, one of the things that we talk about is infinite, the infinite, and how infinite, which is pretty vast and pretty big, is this intelligence. And a lot of people think it's conscious thought, but it's more than that. It's the fact that you can have an impression, you can have an experience, you can have a feeling, but there's a whole bunch of readers here in this room right now. And all of us, and I include myself, all of us from time to time didn't get it right. Eileen is smiling. We didn't get it correct. We didn't get it accurate. And you know what? It didn't stop us. It propels you to learn more, to discover more, to be more, to hope for more. And so what occurs for a lot of people is this is one area that is fascinating because it also influenced seances. Years and years ago, and by the way, I can't see the clocks. Daryl, would you give me a high sign when I'm supposed to be quiet and sit down, please? Thank you. Was that it? Was that it? Oh, good. I had more to say. What I was going to say about seances is that for years and years and years in our history, we've had wonderful examples of people who communicated with the unseen side of life. That doesn't mean just grandparents and parents and children. That means other intelligences. That means other universes. That means other consciousnesses. Is that a word? And what are you doing when you close your eyes and you draw on healing? Do you think it's coming from one source? Do you think it's coming from one area? Do you think it's coming from only one thing? Margarita was doing her energy thing. So I really couldn't hear, so I'm sorry, but I would project that she did colors and energies with you. And what happens when you start to recognize there's more than you on this planet, and there's changes constantly, and some of those changes are creating differences. There's different soaps that we have. There's a whole aisle of soaps, whether it's hair shampoo, whether it's hand soap, whether it's body wash, whether it's this scrub, that foam. Wow. Not bad, not good, just is what it is. And when we start to see the differences, then you can start to feel motivated by those differences to discover more about you. More. There's always more. The soul of you wants to create. It wants to create impeccably. It wants to create joyfully. And there truly is always hope. So whatever challenge you may face, whatever you discern or see, whatever has occurred, whatever you're observing, please also observe the hope in it, even if it looks like something that is devastating or difficult. It may be life altering. I watched a possum, and the possum was at my back door practically. It hadn't come up the steps, luckily, and they can't see really well. And so it was down on the sidewalk right near the steps. And I walked out of the back door and I saw it and I went, oh no, you don't want to come in here. You want to go back out there in the woods. It didn't turn around right away. And I didn't think I was going to go pick it up and move it. But what I did recognize was it's a part of life. We are in a time when our whole area here has altered. This used to be a very remote community with hardly anything out there on Casadega Road. There hardly was anything coming up the interstate. And that all grew up. We're going to see more change. Are you going to fight it? Are you going to challenge it? Or are you going to blend with it enough so that it allows you to feel that you can accomplish because you can? The spirit of you is so very vital and significant. The unlimited potentials that sit right before you, and maybe some of them are brand new and you haven't even tried them yet, because maybe back here there's some fear or reluctance, or maybe you stepped on that line on hopscotch and you don't think that you're very skilled or capable. Well, I say bull, excuse me, I was being polite there, kind of. Is that of course you are. People learn to draw, they learn to develop electronics, because there is something created in the very nature of all that you are. And that creative part of you is partly the healer and partly the opportunity to discover more of who you are. Natural law is something that has been provided in spiritualism for almost 200 years. And it's not private, it's not secret. It's just the understanding of life and self. When you begin to know who you are, excuse me, I got all choked up because Daryl went like this. It's all your fault. Just kidding. For those of you who came in late, I have allergies. Do you notice? I was the foghorn this morning, and I continue this capability very well. Is that natural law has been taught. It's taught by many teachers here. It's taught many ways here. A lot of people read books about it. It's about self-discovery. It's about knowing who you are, and it's knowing that happy comes because you're not perfect, but you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to discover. And you're supposed to discover and explore life so that you can be more. More doesn't mean that you're doing it according to what somebody else thinks you ought to. That's when you read the books and think you're supposed to do it by Swami Husivatsits. And that's not a disrespect to them. It's the fact that you will always be you while you are in the form that you are in. No matter how that form changes, no matter how much the spirit of you is moved or changed or altered, no matter what you experience, no matter how devastating, our lives can suddenly change and feel like they aren't in our control. I've been there twice. But you know what? I'm still standing. And you know what? I'm still creating. And you know what? Happy comes because nothing is perfect. No person, no look, no clothing. That's sad, isn't it? Maybe the soap's working on it. I'm just here to tell you. But the most exciting part of it is that you get to have discovery of you every moment of your day. And you get to discover if there's a possum outside, because he can go with the 4 raccoons that were there the night before. But it doesn't matter. And the cranes were walking through yesterday. I don't know what it is about my backyard, but maybe I need to look and see if there's something they're all attracted to that's kind of fun. Or maybe I'm opening up a wildlife refuge. That would be kind of fun too. All kinds of potentials lay before you. All kinds of possibilities are there for you. And one thing I would want to tell you is it's very special. It's very special that all of you are here today. And I thank you so much for coming.
How beautiful, amazing to have Reverend Diane Davis today here and very often throughout her class and her workshop. Thank you for those words of wisdom and for your beautiful gift that you bring to all of us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. My glasses, I'm sorry. During the musical interlude, we will be passing the basket. We thank you in advance for your generosity. And at this moment, I will invite my husband, Julio Varela, that he is bringing his gift throughout a song.
Somewhere where the rainbow way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere where the rainbow skies are blue and the dreams that we dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere, oh, where the rainbow blue, oh, bluebirds fly, birds fly, oh, for the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere where the rainbow bluebirds fly, birds fly, oh, for the rainbow. Why, then why can't I? Little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I?
How beautiful is that? Thank you. Oh, I got emotional, I'm sorry. Announcement. Our message bearer for our demonstration of spirit service next week, it will be Lori Carter. Next Wednesday, February 1st, on Sunday, our speaker will be Jason Adlek. As well, for our Sunday Lyceum. Join us. Every Sunday, we have a Lyceum from 9:30 to 10:15. To participate in the absent healing, please print the name and the first initial of the last name of a loved one, friend, even pets, in our healing book that is located at the left corner of Colby Temple. Flyers for the camp events are on the back of the temple. We have an activity calendar and a church bulletin in your hymnals. Please take one home and share it with a friend. You don't want one, I don't have one, but you know that is there. Thank you. Okay, some events today. Today from 2 to 4 at the Andrew Jackson Davis for $30 is place cleaning and house blessing by Reverend Dickie John Mullen. Learn effective techniques for blessing homes and clearing spaces for any discordant energy. These include keepsake study guides and supplies. Also today, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Andrew Jackson David, Becoming a Spiritualist by Robin Matutino. What does it mean to be a spiritualist? Come and join us from 6 to 8. Every Thursday at the Andrew Jackson Davis building at 11 to noon, there is a healing meditation circle with Reverend Dr. Philip DeLong. Everyone is welcome to join in the circle in sending healing energies to those of our healing list and also to our planet. Okay. On February 12th, in our Sunday service, we're going to have the renewal of wedding vows. Okay. There is a flyer and there is a telephone number, which is our office, 386-228-3171. If you want to participate, it's a lovely service. For any other information, you can always visit our website, casadega.org, that it will give you all the activities, classes, workshop, every single information that you may need. And at this moment, I would like to bring back to Jamie for a new song, Feeling Like Traveling On, number 45.
If you can stand and turn to page 45. We also have Gala Day coming up next Saturday, which is a festival from 10 to 4.
Sorry. That was not there. Sorry. I figured it wasn't.
Please come and see from the above. No pain that can enter. I feel traveling on. It's traveling on. I feel like traveling on. My heavenly home is traveling on. Yes, I feel. I feel. Yes, I feel like traveling on. I feel like traveling on. My heavenly home is right. Feel like traveling. Traveling on. Until everything say I feel like traveling on. Yes, I feel like traveling on. Feel like traveling on.
Thank you. You may be seated.
And now for what are we waiting for? The portion of our service is to bring before you our message barrier. Please, let's welcome again Reverend Diane Davis.
I wanted to mention that Dickie Joe is having her workshop this afternoon. And this woman has years and years of experience and dedication, not only to this community, but to spiritualism, her astrology. Years ago, she had a TV show. Yes. And she's gone through a lot of her own challenges in the last couple of years. And for any of you who would enjoy her workshop, please attend. She's a wonderful individual to learn from, very soft and very kind. And yet she has a whole powerhouse of information. So thank you, Dickie Joe. And one other thing, and no, this isn't a testimonial or nothing, honest, is the fact that I appreciate those of you who are not looking at your cell phones. Sometimes the discouragement for me is observing people when they're looking down. And when they are emergency responders, that is one thing, but the other thing is distraction. I eat out a lot in my life, and I notice people very glued to their electronic devices. So I just appreciate it when you're not. Ron, I would like to come to you this morning, please. Thank you. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Hope you're doing well. As I'm speaking with you, I would just want to say there are two gentlemen who I feel have passed away connected to you. And I feel that these are brothers. And I don't see what the relationship is to you, but I felt as though they were both very skilled, very capable with their hands. And the skill and capability with their hands was the ability to create. And one of them, at least, was a carpenter or worked with wood a great deal. This is going to be a time period for you in the next 6 to 8 months where I feel like you are putting some things together and you are eliminating a lot of other things. And you have been doing this intentionally, but now it's gotten down to serious business. And I feel like that is something that is more exciting for you than it seems. So while you may be either dragging your feet or not feeling quite as, oh boy, about it, hang on, because it feels to me that by mid to late June into early July this year, 2023, you're going to start to feel like there's much more of a clarity, much more of a sense of direction. It's not about finances as much, but at that time, you're going to notice the financial freedom that you're going to start to feel as well. And that will have a great deal of meaning. Thank you so much for coming today. I'd like to go over here, but I don't know if any of you want messages. Do any of you want messages over here? They're not putting their hands up. I'm moving over here now. Really? Okay, Susie, I'd like to come to you, please. I don't know if I've given you a message before or not. It's been a lot of years. Susie's our resident resident person that a lot of people call on for assistance. And she's very much a healer to provide it. The feeling I have is that the latter part of this month, February, oh wait, we're not there yet. The latter part of February, sorry, it's creeping up on me. Anyway, the latter part of February feels to me it's a very productive time period for you. And it's like doors start swinging open. And I feel like there's some steps that you've already taken or some things you kind of put in motion. But when the doors swing open, it just feels like you're going to have much more of a clarity in you. And you're going to start to feel that there definitely are steps to take. And that's going to be very meaningful. And one of the steps I feel is a long distance trip, and it's outside the United States. When you get to go, I will carry your luggage. Okay, just checking. But I also want to tell you that you're going to add a place of destination on this journey. So don't be surprised if you plan it and then alter the itinerary to include another area. There is a gentleman who passed away connected to you, and it feels to me as though he had a heart complication. And it feels to me the complication could easily have been pneumonia or something that would have influenced or affected his lungs respiratory. And as I am aware of him, I feel like I want to go back in time a little bit in his passing. But one thing I would want to tell you is I feel like this person loved you very much. And what I want to tell you also is that it's time for you to move on in terms of some of the things you're doing and the people that you're connected with, because there seems to be some opportunity here that around late July and going in to the latter part of this year, there's going to be a lot of activity with new people and new things occurring, new relationships and friendships. There's all kinds of newness. And when this occurs, take advantage of it. And if you feel inspired, because it feels like it just nurtures because of your creativity and the creativity of the people that you'll be aware of. And one other thing is I will share more books with you in the future. And thank you. We enjoyed sharing some books recently. Okay, I'm back over here. Anybody ready? Okay, fine. Okay, you said hi to me on the sidewalk, even though you were on your phone. It's okay, because that was outside and it was before we started. And I always marvel at people who have tattooed features, because I am such a chicken with needles that you can't get me near a tattoo parlor. So I always think you're incredibly brave. You know this? But in more ways than just your arm. Because of the fact that about 2.5 to 3 years ago, it feels to me that something kind of pushed you into change. And whatever pushed you into change, it just feels that you're going into another year between now and February of 2024. You're going through another year where you're kind of rebuilding some areas of your life. You understand this? And that's going to be very special, very just a wonderful opportunity. And there is a woman who I feel has passed away connected to you. This feels like a grandmother. And I want to tell you, she was extremely talented or skilled with her hands. And I feel like you would have learned a lot from her, and that you would have developed and continued on with those skills. One thing that she did do was either baking or pie making. You understand? Because I just see patting dough, and then you know how when you pat dough and you put flour down, it goes, oh, yeah, well, mine does. Anyway, not that I make pies a lot anymore, but anyway, what I'm saying with that is I feel like you as a little girl would have loved to pat and watch the powder rise. And that was the creativity of you at a very early age. There is the name of Steve or Stephen connected to you. I would ask you to observe that. I feel like this is going to be an individual who's very helpful in getting some paperwork straightened out, because it's about time that you got either documents or you got some paper or applications done. And I feel this person's going to be very helpful, because you have either more schooling or more education that you're going to want to take advantage of. And they're going to be very helpful. And I want to say, yes, do it. And no, don't step back, step forward. There's a lot of hope out there. And thank you. Do I have to stop? I do. I have to stop now.
Thank you. One more?
One more?
Well,
Oh,
do you
no,
want-
that was her idea.
well,
Reverend
here's the
Suzanne
thing,
might
you-
really wish that we didn't do that. But what I wanted to tell you is I won't greet you at the door today, so I don't cough in your nose or face. But I have so enjoyed having you here with me today, because it allows me to pretend I can do what I do, and I love what I do. And thank you all.
Isn't she great? Thank you. We would like to remind everyone that we will have our afternoon message service, that it will start at 12 today, right here in the temple. A group of student mediums will be giving spirit reading as many individuals as they can reach during that time. Everyone is welcome. We encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open from 11:30 to 5 p.m. today. And on Monday through Saturday is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please rise for our closing hymn. Let it be peace on earth.
Let there be peace on earth and with me. Let there be peace on earth, peace with God, our Creator. In birth on me, let everything speak of love and now with this be my soul to take each moment in peace eternal. Let it be on earth and let it be in
Infinite intelligence,